I need your, your advice. How scholars, how students will actually use this valuable information that you're providing us, you're providing the world. And so to me, I would like that opportunity to be able to help uh, spread this publication, this important work, documents that will be used in history. Justice is coming back in Turkey, and it's coming back. We're providing them these very valuable references that is not from researchers that died 100 years ago. You are live. You are you're the voice of these references. So
Our data was collected from primary sources. I mean the victims themselves. Okay, our data was not a collection of hearsays or stories or made up, tales. No, our data was collected from real victims in real time while they are in it, basically, while their memories are still fresh. Uh, Basically, I especially wanted to do it that way because when wounds heal, uh, people tend to forget their agonies. They tend to forget their feelings. Believe you me, there are some victim statements in the in the reports. Whenever I read, I men don't cry, but I remember crying 4 or 5 times in one report, for one story, basically. Every time I read this story while editing, while preparing the report to the publication, I, as the author, as the editor, as the head of research, this and that, I had to check every statement again and again. Obviously, while checking those stories again and again, I had to read the same story 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and I cried every time while reading. Why? Because the victims were real, and they were expressing their real emotions. So they were touching uh, anybody's heart because they were real feelings, basically. Um, in that sense, our data is real, and we can offer our data uh, to be used by anyone, by any academic, obviously, who is confident enough to analyze them. Uh, just to remind your audience, yes, we are in 21st century. Yeah, we are in 21st century, but what ever is happening in Turkey, in a sense, reminds me dark ages of Europe. Okay, probably the 15th century, maybe 16th century, called dark ages of Europe. Uh, Mainly the times of Inquisition or times of witch hunt. Believe you me, well, in our report, I expressly uh, pointed out that point, basically, that what was happening in the times of witch hunts, what was happening to those supposed to be witches, what was happening to those supposed to trying to help to the condemned, is happening today, at this time, and at this age. In this sense, in that sense, all autocratic minds, uh, well, uh, look like each other. Time doesn't matter whether you are in the 15th century, in the dark ages of Europe, or in the 21st century, in any part of Europe, think of what is happening, what happening to the people of Gaza, what is happening to children of Gaza. So would it be any different than from what is happening to maybe children of supposed to be witches or people accused to be some sort of uh, heresy or infidelity in the Dark Ages? Time doesn't matter. Same mindsets matter, basically. If same mindset, same evil spirit is alive and in action, it doesn't matter which age you live in. Same evil mind, same evil people do the same thing without any concern to which period of time you live in. In that sense, um, I may recommend your readers to uh, to enlighten themselves what happened in the times of those witch hunts in Europe, in times of Inquisition, let's say Spanish Inquisition, or German Inquisition, or French Inquisition, or Italian Inquisition. That doesn't matter. And then read what is happening to the victims of present authoritarian regime in Turkey. They will see parallels between the events. Actually, in our report, we highlighted, we tried to um, uh, increase uh, the understanding of the readers as much as possible. But it will be better if they could educate themselves prior to prior to reading what is happening in Turkey at present under an authoritarian regime. Then uh, uh, then they read our reports. They will see why we are actually trying to enlighten world community on this matter, because if we don't learn from the past, or if we don't learn from the present, events will repeat themselves. So we don't want the same events repeat themselves uh, in other parts of the world, or in this part of the world. Uh, this is all I'm going to say for now. Stage is yours, Merjina. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, as usual.
Thank you very much, Dr. Varam. And also, if you remember, we have featured these when we discussed at the Beyond the Shadow of a Dark Summer, and also part of the Scholars Work series. You have discussed in detail from the report. And so it's like an extension of a written report. And then when you share in our live to our audience, then actually not only they will be able to read these reports in detail as you know, as an academic report, but also they will hear from you, and they hear from you the details of what happened. Like, for example, the social cost of the state of emergency. We broke it down so many times in our program. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Global Dialogue for Justice Global Classroom, where we continue our scholarly publication of social costs of the state of emergency. Tonight is our eighth week of our important discussion of the findings of this study, a genocidal victimization study by Justice for Victims platform. And I would like to welcome, with great respect and admiration for his tireless commitment to documenting the crimes against humanity, a new form of genocide, so that someday the perpetrators will be held accountable. The principal investigator and our professor, Dr. Bayram Erzurumoğlu. Dr. Bayram, welcome back to our global classroom. Thank you for
Uh,
being here tonight for us.
Thank you very much, Merjina, for inviting me. Well, to be honest, I don't find any happiness in participating in this lecture, but I feel it's my duty for humanity, for the victims, especially for today's topic, for the babies, innocent babies, uh, who who who needs to be heard. Their silent cries or loud cries, maybe, should be heard by the world community, and the criminals one day should be tried and convicted. That's why I am here. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to join you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And eventually, I'm going to send this link. I'm preparing the citation for it. But you have discussed this in detail. Many of the highlights of this social costs of the state of emergency, and it's really really good that we have the written and we have you also telling them in detail what's on this report. So I think it's really cool, Dr. Varam. We're providing so much. Like you said, the 21st century learners are different. They can handle not just the traditional publication, but they can handle also something like this that is engaging, and they can see us moving and shouting and crying. And I think it's very, very cool. So, Ms. Fatma Bostan Ünsal, you're all an academic. And so in what the 21st century learners, what we're doing here, what can you say to them about the importance of, what the effort of somebody like you who's not just staying in Turkey, but you're actually move. It's like you're a scholar on the move, that you're going places to emphasize and to demand action. And I think it's really amazing. So what can you tell our students and professors that's still new to what we're doing here?
Okay, we can. If you want to if we want to understand the situation, it's better to look at the history, not long history, but the current history. After the coup attempt, the democratic mechanism has been broken. So now I have already said on the example of mayor of Istanbul now is in prison without any indictment. It became after the coup attempt. The procedure of the judiciary has been done, and even the procedure of the judiciary system. There are not any evidence, but they say that there are some people and under in disguise. So they said that he or she is blaming you. It's enough, so this is so wide scope for the execution to keep the people in prison. It's so wide. A person, he or she, can say something on you. It's enough. So this started maybe before the coup attempt, but it's not so wide. But just after the coup attempt, millions of people are tried on the basis of someone who accused somebody else, really. And even people are forced to first make up some story against their neighbors if they want to be free. They are forced to make up things. I mean, really, how could I say some good English name for this? I couldn't find now. English is not my mother tongue. So, and also another thing for the local elections, the results of local elections are cancelled. Even the mayors of ruling party, AK Party, were forced to resign. Again, Istanbul, mayor of Istanbul, former now late, former of Istanbul, Kadir Topbaş, who was mayor of ruling party, AK Party, was forced to resign. Even the capital city of mayor of capital city, Ankara, Melik Gökçek was forced to resign after the coup attempts, procedures, new procedures, legal things. So it took 10 years, and it's the people who are affected adversely from these procedures are widening. Now, the main opposition parties, mayors, or other people who are being victims because of these corrupt procedures. So you said, why is the mayor of Istanbul now in prison? Because he is popular. Maybe he will be elected as a new president. So he must be punished. So we can say because of political reasons, he is in prison because there is no indictments against him. Turkey hasn't got these experience before. There are some trials against mayors. Even the president has been tried, and even he got 3 months sentence. But after the court's decisions, he got this sentence, and also he went prison, and he lasted 3 months. But after the court's decision, now there is no indictments against a mayor, but he is in prison. So it's a really bad procedure. And also, I want to talk about the European Human Court decision. Recently, European Court of Human Rights had decided that 239 people were that people's rights were violated. Generally, European Court of Human Rights had decisions on a person against state. But Turkey, European Court of Human Rights had issued also Yalçın'da decision, and it said that this court decision is not related with only Yalçın'da. It's related with the groups, with the thousands of people. It relates with thousands of people. So it's told government, you need to retrial this. But Turkey did not do this, and European Court of Human Rights had issued a new decision, and it's related on 239 cases. So it's the first time, and it said that there's no fair trial, and also in the basic legal thing, if there is a crime, there must be a law, violated law. If if there is no law on a crime, you cannot be tried. It's so obvious thing. Turkey has violated this right. So maybe thousands of cases now are under the way. European Court of Human Rights. It's just released maybe a week ago or maybe 5 days ago. Yeah, I think it's a good sign that the KHK victims now are not being are being judged fairly. So this is a good sign, but also it's not a good sign for Turkish judiciary system. How bad it is. It shows very obviously how bad it is, and the officials do not take into account the European Court of Human Rights court's decisions. So it's really showing the situation in Turkey very well.
When Turkey is ignoring these things, these rulings from the European Courts of Human Rights, because the suffering of people is enormous, and it never stops, and we have those young innocent people in prison, and so as the European Courts of Human Rights recognizing these, the government of Turkey continue to ignore it. So, what are we going to? When can we see justice from this?
Well, I personally think that this government, as is, cannot return to law because it gains its power from its lawlessness. To be honest, because since this government do not care for the law, anybody in the country know that if they don't come into line with the government, they could lose anything they have. They could lose their freedom, they could lose their wealth, they could lose their property, they could lose their posts. It is so easy. When we were shouting that nobody is safe in this country, so that as long as there is no law, there is no respect to law, Republican Republican People's Party members were laughing at us. In one sense, they were seeing themselves quite safe, as since they were not targets. They didn't expect themselves to be targets, but authoritarian regime is now targeting them with the same methods they used against the KHK victims. Well, authoritarian regimes do not stop at anything as long as they feel themselves under threat. They see the regime under threat. This government gained its present power from the lawlessness of emergency law, basically. In that emergency period, in my opinion, it's not in my finding. I'd better say, is still continuing since the mayor of Istanbul is under arrest without any legal reasons. That is why. Well, this government scares anyone, any bureaucrat. Look, saying that, look, if we don't do our orders, we can uh, put you in prison in no time. It's so simple. As Miss Ünsal mentioned, that they find a secret witness, supposed to be secret witness. Okay, you don't know who they are, you don't know their names, so you cannot defend. That guy could say that, look, I've heard that, let's say, Dr. Bayram was doing this criminal action. Was there any proof? There is no need in the proof, because as if as what happened to President Mayor of Istanbul, İmamoğlu, let me tell you, since as Miss Ünsal mentioned, the Mayor of Istanbul is in prison over 4 or 5 months, if I'm not wrong. About 5 months he's been in prison. There is no indictment. Government claims that he committed this much criminal event, criminal actions. Okay, if that if there had been some criminal action, okay, we should have seen it in the indictment. We could have seen it in the indictment, but there is no indictment. How do we know it? Why do we know it? It's simple. Uh, because this was the same old tactic that was used against KHK victims. But they will put you in prison. Uh, Believe you me, there were some people that stayed in prison up to 2 years without any indictment. This this means this was a ordinary way of legal systems work, basically. So same old habits are being used against Mayor of Istanbul. When these sorts of things was happening against KHK victims, uh, Republican People's Party members was thinking that, well, these people could have done something wrong, or should have done something wrong against state or against the society. Otherwise, the state wouldn't punish them this harshly. But we were shouting that, look, we didn't commit any crime against the state, or we didn't commit any crimes against the public. We didn't commit any crimes against the law. What we were trying to do, our duties as best as possible according to law. But all authoritarian regimes do not respect law, do not want any respect to law. They want respect to their arbitrary orders, their sometimes their criminal orders, basically. And in a sense, what is happening in the country as is. Some shopping centers are being put under government caretakers. Why? We don't know the reason, but they are being accused for financing terrorism. But if they were financing terrorism, let's say starting from 2016, it's been 9 years past, and then since then the government or the country is under martial law in a sense. I'm civil. I would just to explain it that way. We know who martial is, basically. How come these guys could support terrorism. Nobody knows. Nobody needs to know. The big boss knows it. The big brother, only big brother knows it. If big brother tells that you are supporting terrorism, you are supporting terrorism. Who can argue against big brother or big authority? Well, same old things, same these things. People living in free world, more or less, may find it hard to understand, but these kind of things and even more things happen in countries with authoritarian leaders, authoritarian regimes. Here is one of them we are talking about. By the way, I would like to how should I say one thing, how brave is our host, let's say, co-speaker, Miss Ünsal. She's heading the organization called Initiative for Rights Association. The motto of that association is against the oppressor, no matter who they are, for the oppressed, no matter who they are. So we are actually sitting with a lady who is so brave to head an organization whose motto is against the oppressor, no matter who they are, for the oppressed, no matter who they are.